Hi guys, it's Pez Radar here. Octus is holding the other camera over here. We're about to do our San Diego Comic-Con Rodcast with Rod Ferguson, of course. It's our second one because Rod decided to not be patient and do a bunch of other things, but we're going to do those again, and we're going to answer a bunch of questions. And hopefully you guys can hear us because there's some like really loud people. But yeah, so we're gonna switch over to Rod. There's Ron.
Hey. All right, so one of the things we want to show you is some of the stuff we're doing at Comic-Con. One of the new things that just arrived, hot off the presses, if you will, is the gear packs, which are a promotional item we're doing where we're using these little 5-card packs, but there's a pool of 10 it picks from, and 3 of the cards are randomized, and 2 you get a sticker and an avatar item in every one. What's really cool that it's made by Panini, so if anybody knows the cards, Panini, they're kind of world famous for making cards, and this is like one of the very first promotional packs they've ever made, so it's pretty exciting. So let's just take a look what's inside. It's impossible to open. No.
And we're here for the next 4 hours.
This Rod is unable to open the pack. All right, so as I said, so they each have codes on them. So the first one is every pack gets a avatar shirt. So you type in the code that's at the bottom. There's a men's and women's shirt there, so 2 codes. And if you type in the code, are these available now? If I type in the code now, will it work?
I believe they are.
Yeah. All right, well then, there's the code.
Yeah, there's the code if someone wants to read the archive.
See if that works for you. And done. So, other than that, we have a sticker in every one. So we're going to be putting this on Pez's laptop shortly here.
Yes.
So every gear pack comes with the avatar shirts and the sticker. And then we have 3 cards. And we have a variety of rarities. And it's a pool of 10. So this first one is an example where in Gears of War 4 we now have emblems. So we have these things that go in the lobby that you can use to represent yourself. And this is the Swarm logo. So again, this is what you'll be able to use as an emblem for your character in lobbies and in the front end.
Sorry, it's a little dark, you guys. Yeah. This room is like sensual.
Why would I be anywhere else? And then we have a rare card. I got a rare card.
Ooh.
The dodgeball, win a dodgeball match, get 2,000 XP. This is a good one. That's a lot of XP for one match. So again, you can tell by the color, the green, where we had the green emblem and the blue, you see the difference in colors. Green is common, blue is rare. So we have those 2. And then last but not least, a Horde bounty. So this is a Horde bounty for 5,000 experience. And again, bounties are essentially like boosts. So these are things that this isn't a gambling thing. But it is what you do is you say like, hey, I want to play this bounty, and it stays with you until you actually complete it. It doesn't go away if you fail, but you basically kind of make a bet about what you want to do. Like, hey, I'm going to put this card down. I want to try to do this thing on the bounty. In this case, you're going to try to complete waves 1 through 10. And once you complete waves 1 through 10, you complete the bounty and you earn the experience if you have it activated. You can only ever have 1 bounty active in Horde at a time. Same is true for Versus, only you can never have 1 bounty at a time. So there you go. Oh, and of course the awesome backs of the cards. So again, these are promotional items. Actually, I think GameStop will have its own version in terms of they have one special card that they have added to theirs. Are we announcing that? Vintage Reina. Yep. So Vintage Reina is a GameStop exclusive that you can get through the cards. So that'll be coming there. But again, these aren't for sale. They're just promotional. So anywhere we do a promotional event. And so anybody who comes to our panel, we have a panel tomorrow at Comic-Con on Thursday at 2:15. And if you come to that panel, we'll be giving away, everybody will walk away with a gear pack, which is cool. And then we'll also have a bunch of other swag as well. So please come to the panel and check it out. And then after the panel, we actually have a signing. Liam looks sad.
Sorry, our Facebook feed has just gone down.
Facebook feed down.
No.
Facebook
we're gonna
feed
wait
down.
1 second, and Rod's gonna do a jingle for you.
Do a jingle. Make up a jingle.
It's gonna go live.
What did you do, Liam?
I don't know. It just dropped.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna open another pack.
Yeah, you can open another pack. Might as well.
Lucky you, Periscope. Yeah.
Hey, look, an Avatar shirt. I knew that was going to happen. Oh, we were giving away the code. So
Yeah, we're giving away the code.
Because Liam messed up everybody on... Can you actually see it? Turn on the flash, Joe.
Wait 1 second. Wait, stay there. Just give them a little bit of time to look at it. Okay, and we're good.
And then, of course, this sticker. And again, it's 3 different cards pulling from... Nice. And so we have, this time we have the Phoenix Omen Lancer. Again, only available in the physical card pack.
Nice.
So that's there. We also have the Outsider logo, because apparently every faction has a graphic designer. I used that joke earlier, so if you're watching again, I apologize. And again, it's emblem. Everybody gets you can have your own emblem. And this one is our leak card. So I don't know that I want to show the leak. Do I want to show the leak card?
Actually, yeah, but remember, we're...
What?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is another bounty for Versus, where you win a match to get 2000 XP, but it's for a mode we have not yet announced or discussed. So there's that.
There you go.
So that's how that leaked out. But
yeah.
It's shh. Don't tell anybody. We also have other cool swag. We have, so we're doing these pins. So we've been doing a different pin for each show. We're gonna have another pin for PAX when we're there, but this is our Comic-Con pin. It's kind of I want to say it's kind of gold. I want to say it's kind of an orangey paint, but it's a cool looking Lancer pin that always nice on the suit jackets. And so then the other stuff we're giving away is if you show up for the signing that we have afterwards, we're going to be doing poster signing. So we're going to have the cast and crew there. So we'll have the posters that we're going to be signing, which is a box cover. And for the first 300 who show up, we are going to have what?
Where'd Liam go?
Liam, I don't know where Liam went. So we have these Tony Moore posters that we can, for the first 300 show up, we'll get a signed poster. So that'll be cool. So yeah, so come down. So again, panels at 2:15. Please show up. We have lots of cool swag. And then at 5 o'clock, we have a signing with our cast, and you can get the signed by the cast, cover art. And then if you're in the first 300, you get the cool Tony Moore poster. And so now let's talk a little bit about Nerd HQ. So also at Comic-Con, we have our booth. So we're the only Xbox game on the floor, and we're going to be able to play actual campaigns. So you get hands-on with campaign. You've seen that got released today to show you playing through a Wind Flare with Marcus by your side. So if you want to get hands-on with that, come to the show for that. But we also have a representation at Nerd HQ, which is at the new Children's Museum in San Diego. And we have 20 machines playing multiplayer, showing off a new map we call Forge, which is a cool map where you're able to there's basically a rocket engine that can toast people while you're trying to grab the boom shot. And so you'll see the staff shirt that's there, the people who are working the booth. Whose shirt is this? It's so tiny. Apparently this female size shirt. So this is the staff shirt in terms of an Hydra 74 did the cool art, the sort of Ravens tip of the spear shirt art. But then the first couple hundred or so that show up at Nerd HQ every day, we'll be able to get the sort of the standard shirt that we'll have available for people who come and play the demo. So come and play multiplayer, see Forge, and we also have the beta maps there, and they're all new glorious looks. So depending on what's going on there and how quickly your matches go, you'll get to see the other maps as well. And so I'm sure there'll be probably physical card packs around there too. So yeah, so that's kind of us at Comic-Con. Did I miss anything? We've got the panel at 2:15. We have the signing at 5 o'clock. Then we have the Nerd HQ panel with more surprises that people can come. We'll have some people there that weren't at the Comic-Con panel, which is cool. And what else?
I think you got most of it.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, the panel is tomorrow. The Comic-Con panel is tomorrow. So yeah, and we highly recommend like people who cosplay and things like that to come out. So if you're a big cosplayer or anything,
yeah,
like
people showing up in costume may receive physical gear packs. Wink, wink. Okay, so
maybe bonus ones too.
So you had some questions.
Yes, we do have some questions from the community. So we're gonna go through questions in the community. I also just remembered the area we're sitting in is about to turn into a happy hour area around 5 o'clock. So
we should probably bail.
So we should. We've got 20 minutes,
Okay.
so we can go through some questions and then we can drink in front of people. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. First question is from Dutchy Live. Will we see exclusive content for places other than UK and Europe?
Will we see exclusive content for places
For
other
places
than UK?
other than UK and Europe. Yes, actually we will. It's all going to go down to with the Xbox marketing teams as they talk to the different retailers in different territories.
Yeah,
They plan on making sure that content is available in all the other territories as well. So,
Yeah, it's more of a channel question.
Yep. Will we find out in campaign what happened to Bear, Cole, Anya, and Sam?
Or you could play the game.
Yeah, you can play the game. You guys will find out. Whatever. About how many character skins are we looking at for Gears 4?
Oh, there's a bunch. I mean, a lot of all of our customization, whether it be weapon skins or character skins, are done through our card system. And we needed a large enough economy, obviously, to have a card system that made sense. So we've done a lot in terms of weapon skins and character skins. So there's going to be a bunch there. And then as we look at opportunity to release more and more. And so in the past, for Gears 3 as an example, like we had this limitation that we could only ever make the skins once. Like we could only, whatever skins we made at launch were the forevermore, all the skins we had. We had no way of adding skins after the fact because of the way it was architected. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. So one of the things is that as time progresses, we can actually release new skins and additional skins as things come up or we find cool designs and those sorts of things. So it's not just a fixed limit.
There is a guy on our forums named DWLR who is asking questions about Horde and classes and affecting balances with co-op gameplay. I will say that we are going to be talking about Horde more here in the near future. So for now, I am actually going to skip that question. I apologize. Lambert Hammer, who is a moderator on our team, or brand new moderator, are the retailer-specific skins simply shortcuts, and those skins can be earned in-game or by physical cards from packs?
No, like that's one of the things that you get into this notion of timed exclusives and things like that. But right now, the notion of the retailer exclusive is that's where you have to go if you want to get it now, and then at some point in the future it might become available. But those are never like decided immediately. Those are those things that as we look at, how the demand for those sorts of things and whether that program is played out. But if you want a specific skin, for example, if you want vintage Reyna and that's something you want to make sure you have, then I would suggest going to GameStop. But and I think same thing with like vintage Dell is the currently announced pre-order incentive. We'll probably have some more news on that. But the same sort of thing. So you want to go ahead and pre-order if you want to get access to vintage Dell and sort of complete your vintage collection.
Another Horde question I will pass. We always get this question from a guy named Irish Knife, or he's one of our Irish gamer fans. And he always asks, will we see Carmine in Gears of War 4? And I always tell him he's going to have to play the game. And I'm going to repeat that answer for him now. Script is asking, Script is asking, will we learn the origin of the Swarm?
Again, it's part of the process of Gears of War 4 is meant to be part of that discovery process of what is the new threat. So, there'll be lots of things that you will discover in that process. Will you discover every little thing about them? Probably not, much like you probably don't know the exact origins of the Locusts. So it's one of those things where, a little mystery is good. So it's, we'll be trying to kind of walk that line.
Question, this actually, Octus behind me might be able to answer this a little bit more. It's from Lambent Lucky. It says, is there an emblem for playing all Gears titles? Is there an emblem for completing seriously? Or all seriously, which is very rare. Exactly. Emblem for 100% achievements on previous titles, pretty much legacy rewards in some form of lobby, emblem, or skins.
Yeah, we're still going through exactly what all the emblems as we're bringing them all online now. Same thing as we're just finalizing the achievements too. So I don't think every one of those, like one of the things we don't want to do is get too super exclusive. So we don't want to go down to like 0.05, % of people only get this thing. So we're trying to find a way to be inclusive, but also reward loyalty. So that's something we're definitely looking at.
Will Insane Campaign be readily available at launch?
Yeah, we did a poll asking what people wanted insane locked, and you had to earn it by playing through on some other difficulty, or did they want it unlocked? And all of the Twitter poll, everybody, a large, I think it was 2/3 of the people, 60% of the people wanted it unlocked at launch. So it will be unlocked at launch. You want to start it insane, you can. So it's going to be hard. It's something we're trying to. It's one of the things we've done. Like we noticed that, as you go from 1 to 2 to 3, the difficulty gets easier, and part of that is the game, part of that is the number of co-op players, and just trying to make it more accessible. And so one of the things we've been doing is sort of balancing the game a little bit back towards Gears 1. Gears 1 didn't have a casual mode, so it didn't have a place for people to go who wanted to play more casually. Like it didn't have a true casual. I think casual in Gears 1 was really more like a normal. And so one of the things we'll be doing is trying to differentiate the difficulties more. But what that means is they'll probably, like once you get to normal, especially when you get to hardcore insane, they'll be a lot more like Gears 1 and harder than they've been in the previous, like Gears 2 and 3.
There are a few questions coming in on Periscope. One was asking, are you guys going to be at the GameStop Expo?
Some of us might be.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Another question that came through was related to frag planting and multiplayer, and wanting to know if frag planting was still going to be in multiplayer after the beta.
Yeah, it still is. I mean, it's one of those things that's controversial for some people. Some people feel like it's a non-skill thing, but one of the cool things is what we're really doing is we've really separated the notion between what we call core players and competitive players. And so we can actually change things now more than we've had in the past. And so when we look at what the core experience is, what kind of experience we want the average player, not in the sense of average of skill level, but I just mean the majority of players, how they want to play. We consider that a core experience, and we actually have, what I really thought has been really cool about this particular, Ryan has really worked on this notion of having 2 different balancing schemes. So what we found is that, when we were at PAX East and they did a weapon balancing playtest with the pros prior to their matches, they found a lot of differences about how they wanted. They actually wanted the weapons a lot less lethal, which was interesting. And so they made them where you had to get a lot closer, and it was a lot, it took more work to get the kill. And so what we've actually done is we've separated weapon balancing between core and competitive. So, we can decide how much we change it. So you're not trying to balance, you don't have one set of numbers for 2 different audiences. So we can actually have a set of numbers for the people who just enjoy Gears and want to play Gears, competitively, but not professionally. And then we can have the uber competitive people, potentially professionals, or at least people who played at a much higher level who want a different weapon balance. And we can actually support both of those groups. So those are the things that we look at in terms of, and the same can be true for what weapons we make available, what modes we make available, what maps we make available. This separation between core and competitive allows us to control that. So there you go.
Alrighty.
Do you want to wind down?
No, we got time. We got time. We got 13 minutes. Were there any instances in history or lore of some type in other genres of gaming or anything that influenced the introduction of the new bad guy, the Swarm?
Is there yeah, I think it's, play through the game and then and see what you think. I think that's part of it. Talking about influences or inspirations would be revealing, so I think it's better to just go and play.
Will Horde be available on day of release?
Will Horde be available on day of release? Yes. Yeah. So, versus multiplayer, Horde, campaign, all in the box.
How long is the campaign is what people are asking.
It's going to depend on difficulty. It's in the realm of what we were back in, I would say, in the Gears 2-ish time frame. But again, it's a harder game, and and difficulty will determine how quickly you go through and whether you play co-op or not. So, yeah.
Let's see. Any hint on some of the new achievements?
Any hint on some of the new achievements?
One person said specifically the new Seriously achievement, but we won't go into that. You
yeah,
will.
no, that's but there is a Seriously achievement because we have to have Seriously 4.0, and we definitely looked at trying to be more representative of a well-rounded Gears player as opposed to a super grindy player. Like I think people still love quote unquote in the Gears 2 is super grindy in terms of having to ride the Brumac over and over and over again because it was the fastest way to get the kills. So we're trying to not do the uber grindy and focus more on being well-rounded. Like you've done a lot on Horde, and you've done a lot in Versus, and you've done a lot in the campaign. So
okay, let me see. I'm scrolling through the questions. Do you have anything, Liam?
Yeah, I do have some questions from here. Let me see if I can grab some. We just skip that one. So some people in the chat, one person here, Christopher, has been asking about the Gears of War 2 Hammerverse, and he liked the way the Gears of War 2 Hammerverse has happened. Has anything changed with the Hammerverse since the beta that fans might want to know about?
I mean, there's been balancing around weapon damage and stuff, but in terms of fundamentally changing how it works, it hasn't. So one of the things that they went back to is like what was great about our weapons team for multiplayer is they went back and looked at like what are the roles that guns are how they play in multiplayer. And they focus more on that rather than just be like, oh, let's go back to some legacy thing or trying to do something lore based in terms of at least how the gun functions. They've been doing more about like, what's the purpose of this weapon? How do you use this weapon in the game? And tailoring towards that. So it's been more about that than it has been like, oh, I like the 1 versus the Gears 2 version or the Gears 3 version. It's been more about, hey, we have this rifle. You know, how do we differentiate it with the other rifles we have? Because we have other new weapons which we'll be announcing hopefully soon. And what's its place in that lineup, and then what role does it serve? So.
I've got another one from Chad Stone. Will there be any multiplayer map Easter eggs?
Probably. Yeah, we're going through our Easter egg stuff. As I said in one of my videos with Game Informer, was around the idea that like you only kind of get to Easter eggs when the bug count gets to 0 and you get some time on your hands. So. Fortunately, things are going well, and so we will have some campaign Easter eggs. As people know, I tweeted about one a little while ago, so I would expect there's some, but you have to be kind of careful. We never thought that when we added in some of that interactivity to the Gears 3 maps, like the ability to play the piano or to set off the fire alarm and checkout, that we'd actually create essentially a crashing bug that was going to lock up other people's systems. So you have to be kind of careful what you do with that stuff.
Got another question, which I think would be good to answer from Stephen, which is, why has the weather become so volatile on Sarah?
The weather, one of the things that we talked about was the fact that when the countermeasure went off, that Adam set off, that it basically destroyed all the emulsion, which essentially hollowed out the planet, and so it put it into a really volatile state. And so it's created this sort of really strange weather patterns. And so for us, and we like the idea that, our theme for the game, used to be destroyed beauty for Gears, 1. For 4, we talked about reclaimed beauty, and it's this idea that like, hey, the humanity has abandoned a bunch of places because there's a lot fewer humans, and so they've actually centralized, and they've left behind these sort of villages and towns and cities to be reclaimed by the planet, so the overgrowth and then vines and that kind of stuff. So there's this idea of that Sarah is reclaiming places that were once civilized places, or once built up. They're now being taken back to nature, and kind of see like the wind flares are sort of this planet Sarah's sort of violent way of also attacking in a way in terms of trying to reclaim the planet, that it's gotten so messed up inside that these strange weather patterns are happening that are sort of, it's making it harder to actually live on Sarah because of it.
Do you want to go with another one?
Yeah, a question is, I already know the answer to this, but I'll let Rod answer. Who's doing the soundtrack for Gears of War 4? When are we going to have more information? People seem to be really excited to see what's next.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more soundtrack stuff, talking, as we get into more events, and sort of like one of the things that you look at is you have only so many beats along the way to talk about stuff, and so we're going to be talking about composer and that kind of stuff later. But it's a kick-ass score that I've been able to listen to driving, and almost like get speeding tickets because it's kind of heart racing. So it's awesome, and I can't wait to announce it.
Yep, I can't wait. With Gears 4, from a storytelling point of view, will the story be limited to a trilogy, or will the story be expanded into a saga? And would a saga be a better approach than a trilogy for Gears? Good lord! Oh, this is Dark Chaos. That's why.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing we're going in, is that we're, when we did 1 and 2 and 3, we weren't completely planned it from the beginning, and so therefore there was a lot of discovery along the way, and so I think you can kind of feel that in the games. And so this time we're doing a little bit more planning for the future, but we're not locking ourselves into a particular cadence, like it must be 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. It's like what we're just saying is that, by picking a younger cast and starting where we're starting in their sort of development and their journey, is that we have a lot of headroom. You look at Marcus right now is like 65-ish. Probably, and so if we have 40 years we could be doing, right? So there's a lot of places to explore. So,
will Gears of War Ultimate Edition get continued support after Gears 4 launch, and can we expect any future title updates for Ultimate Edition? I will answer that one. Okay. Ultimate Edition, we are probably going to continue supporting all the way through the launch of Gears 4, and we could potentially end up, doing some additional events after Gears 4. I will say that Gears 4 will have a majority of our mind share in regards to a lot of the events that we're going to be doing after launch.
Same thing with like the transition. Like we're transitioning out of Ultimate Edition esports and into Gears 4 esports.
Exactly.
So it's going to be like we'll be still supporting it with being able to do events. There won't be unless there's some big issue. There won't be another title update to Ultimate Edition. I know they're still doing some work on we're looking at on the PC side, on the Win 10 side for Ultimate Edition in terms of supporting that. So, but again, right now, pretty much everybody's heads down on 4.
Not a problem. All right, and then will there be a massive event and gear stunt in celebration of launch of Gears 4?
Nothing that I can. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll do something, but I don't know. I don't know all the details, so we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So it's gonna get busy here, so I think we should.
Okay, so we're gonna do 2 more questions because I think they're like looming over us, going like, what the hell are these people doing? So we're gonna be kicked out here in a second, but will there? Let's see. I'm gonna go through scan through these really quickly. I'm sorry. Going through. Local servers in South Africa. They are looking into something like that for you guys. They are looking into local servers for South Africa. Well, with gear packs only possible to be earned while playing online, are offline players stuck with default characters and weapon skins?
I'm not sure about the caching side of it, but yeah, one of the things we have to do is be able to validate or verify that you have particular content, so that's part of being online. So if you go offline, then yeah, you lose the connection to being able to verify that the content you have is legitimately yours. So that'll be something that that will have to be, I'm not sure though in terms of how we deal with the caching side of it, so that's something I'd have to look into for you, but for the most part, you have to be online.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here because there's like a bunch of people coming in right now. I'm gonna switch cameras really quickly. Liam, you can point it to me. Say bye, Rod. Bye, Rod.